Welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the home of the auto racing world. Today we want to give you guys an up-close personal look at not only some of the top NASCAR teams, but the NHRA teams as well. So first up for us, one of the top Cup teams on the Sprint Cup Tour. So our first stop on our Charlotte racing tour is here at Michael Waltrip Racing. Now this state-of-the-art facility houses his two Cup teams. He's got both Clint Boyer and Brian Vickers inside this facility. Now as you walk in the main lobby, you see all the cool stuff you would expect, memorabilia, promotional cars, all the things you would want. But one of the things that really jumped out at me here in the main lobby is this. This is an actual car. Michael Waltrip crashed this thing at Daytona a number of years ago, and as a souvenir, he had this thing crushed. Now this is a keepsake worth remembering. So you dream of becoming a part of a NASCAR pit crew. Well, you know what? You better be careful what you wish for because these guys don't play around. You think about it, at 200 miles an hour, you're covering the length of a football field every second. If these guys can save you 1 second in the pit lane, well, you're going to gain the length of a football field on your competition. And that's what these guys are striving for here today. So anytime you go into a race car shop, you usually want to get yourself back into the deepest corner because that's where all the action is at. You know, anybody could go on the tour. We want to go beyond the tour today, find out what really happens here at Michael Waltrip Racing. So what I've done is track down Dave Brinkley. Dave's been here forever, man, and he knows this place inside and out. So Dave, we are in the back corner here of the building, and we're in this hairdown area. What all is going on over here today?
As soon as the cars come off the haulers, they come back here, they're disassembled, all the parts go to different locations in the shop, and then the actual chassis is taken back down to the fab shop to be redone if there's any damage on it.
So every car after it runs comes here and gets completely stripped down to bare chassis?
It's to whatever it needs, yes, the engine and all the parts come off of it. And that's how we keep everything freshened up on the cars.
Okay, so this is where it all begins?
Yes, it is.
And then we'll start moving our way back out?
Sure.
All right, give me the tour.
Okay.
So we're here now on the main floor of Michael Waltrip Racing. I gotta say, this place is enormous. I mean, how big a square footage are we talking?
We're talking approximately 100,000 square feet in the main building and 40 to 45 in the fab shop.
Okay, now, and that's just for two Cup cars?
That's for two Cup cars and a test team. Right.
Isn't that a little excess?
Well, no, not really. We actually could probably use a little bit more space if we had it. We sure could.
Now, Dave, you've been with the company from its infancy, from its small roots, what, 15 years ago?
Yes.
How has it grown?
Well, it's grown from 5 to 6 employees at Michael's nationwide shop in Sherrills Ford to around 200 employees now.
And you guys have a number of engineers. These are very skilled technicians you've got working on these cars.
Yes, we've gone from 1 to, I think we have 45 engineers right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's really amazing how we've evolved from where we were at to now, and we're still growing.
It's just amazing when you look at what the facilities are here and what the resources you guys have to work with. I'm a drag racer. This is a dream come true.
Yeah,
you know?
I understand that. We're really fortunate to have a facility like this to do what we do.
Over in the corner, I see him servicing a car, but next to it, is that a guy getting a haircut?
It is. We have a stylist that comes in once a week.
Nice.
Takes care of the guys here so they don't have to go out. So it makes it easier on everybody.
That is good living. You've got a stylist in-house, and that's called living right.
It is. It is.
So Dave, guesstimate, what does it take from building a NASCAR from scratch? How many man hours are we looking at?
You're looking at approximately 120 hours, probably 4 days from start to finish the time we can get one ready.
Honestly, that's really quick.
It really is.
Especially with the level of sophistication you guys have. I mean, look at sophistication. This is the shock and spring room. I mean, there are shocks and springs as far as the eye can see. Even a shock dyno in the corner. Now, one thing I haven't noticed here is no engine facility. What's the deal? This is NASCAR. This is horsepower. What do we got?
Our engines come from TRD from California. and they're supplied to us every week for our cars.
That is a great setup. How do you get a guy hooked up with something like that?
Well, I wish I could help you with that.
So once a car's ready to go, this is where it comes, right? This is the final setup.
This is the pull
Explain to me
down.
what we're looking at here.
Well, this is your pull down rig, and then they set the car up on this thing, and they can simulate whichever track they're going to go to for the moving of the car, on suspension, and how it's going to react.
And from here it hits the hauler.
And then it goes to the hauler.
Dave, man, I really appreciate all the time you've given us here today. I know you're a busy guy. I'll let you get back to work and get out of here. Thanks a bunch, man.
Oh, you're sure welcome.
All right, I'm heading over to see those haulers. So once the car leaves the scales, it is ready to rock, and it comes right here. Time to get loaded into one of these transports. Now, the way this works is the backup car will go up first up top, and then the primary car behind it. Size large, I'm good. Come follow me, I'll show you how it works here on the 5-hour energy rig. Now, you come through the rig, and you've got tons of spare parts, everything lined up. Each of the team members has a locker here with their equipment. You come on back, you got parts and pieces. Hold on, need to grab one of these. That's important for the ride. Shock dyno up front, and pretty much everything you could imagine to keep these cars running, not only in this hauler, but a couple other haulers. Where it all ends, though, is right up into the driver's lounge, because let's face it, drivers, they need some love, and they need a place to kick back and unwind. You know, unfortunately, they're not going to let me drive the 5-hour energy car. I've really tried, but the thing is, I do have an NHRA license, so I might be able to go out to the track at zMAX, make a hit in one of those guys' cars. So it's a good time for us to take a break. I'm going to grab my little souvenirs from this trip. Catch you in a few. This will look good on me.
This segment is brought to you by CRC Industries, the makers of Brake Clean, the #1 brake part cleaner.
Welcome to the Bellagio drag strips at zMAX Dragway. This is the home of NHRA drag racing and 4Y competition, man. Something you don't see every day, and today is test day, the day after the 4Y, so we've got a backstage pass with some of the biggest teams in NHRA drag racing. I promise you guys, we give you an inside look behind the ropes here of NHRA drag racing. So I called on a buddy of mine, Jack Beckman, former NHRA world champion, to show us what goes on here on test day. What are we looking for on a day like today? The race is over, but you're still working.
Yeah, first it's important to keep in mind you don't get points or trophies for testing. And to come out here and just spend money to go down the racetrack, these cars are so expensive, it's $10,000 a lap.
Say that again?
It's about $10,000 a run.
Some serious stuff here.
We lost by 0.000 yesterday to keep from moving on. A very small amount, but the deal is we're here testing. We got to try to make the Valvoline car better, and the way to do that is get it more predictable. Once it's more predictable, even with 10,000 horsepower, you can start making incremental changes, so we're testing. We just made our third run, and on this one, we went out there and we popped the burst panels out of the car. And Bruno, you know, these are panels that are designed when you have an overpressurization of the intake track. Something wrong with hanging an intake valve open, the thing goes lean, you get detonation. Instead of it lifting a $10,000 supercharger up into the air and ruining a $60,000 body, you blow these panels out, which are about 70 bucks each. There's a burst panel in the hood of the car that'll relieve pressure. Now we got to figure out why it did it. We had something mechanically go wrong then. I guess the blessing here is it's a test day, but you don't want this stuff to happen next time you go stand on the throttle.
You know, I've got him here. I want to show you guys inside one of these haulers. You can see it's a mobile shop here. Come on, we'll take you guys for a tour.
In our toy box.
So I've been snooping around a little bit while Jack was away, and look underneath the cabinets here. I mean, you've got bullet among bullet, you've got superchargers. I'm seeing like 3 or 4 of everything. This is the kind of setup that I need. Hey, there he is.
Yeah, actually, we carry 8 spare engines.
Wow.
There's 2 complete race cars. Come into trailer number 1, I'll show you guys this. Up front is the crew chiefs area. You have 2 crew chiefs. They've each got their computer screens up there, do complete data recording on the run, come look at it and interpret it after the run. Full storage up top, 2 complete race cars. Each one has an engine in it, 6 more spare engines under the cabinets. The idea is you go to an NHRA national event, you have to have enough parts and pieces for 8 runs, and nitro cars can be kind of hard on parts and pieces.
I noticed that earlier. That's an oops.
That became a souvenir. We had a plugged fuel nozzle. We're going to fix it. We're going to go out and make another run, but you got to be prepared for things like this. So if you look, everything here, head gaskets, cylinder heads, clutch assembly area, racks and racks of spark plugs. And if you look, I think you'll like this. In our machine shop in Brownsburg, Indiana, Schumacher Racing not only makes connecting rods, we make our own cylinder heads. To watch the process go from just a piece of metal to something that'll fuel a 10,000 horsepower engine is unbelievable.
That is awesome. So when you see him put on the gas mask, you know it's going to get fun. So we're back in the pits here with Bob Vanderdrift, top fuel driver. Now, Bob, you come after the 4 wide, you stay in test. What's the logic behind it? What are you thinking? What are you looking for?
Oh, we really didn't have a choice the way we ran yesterday. Really all weekend we struggled. We had some faulty equipment that we didn't realize until it was too late to cause a lot of problems. So, and then when we were replacing it, we had a whole different animal of a race car, and it didn't behave very well. So we had to stick around, get the car back on track, which we were able to accomplish today. Made 2 pretty good runs.
And we saw the first one was at 378, right?
78.
Were you looking to be that aggressive on a track like this? Did you think we'd hold it?
Yeah, it was cool and overcast, so we knew we had to get after it a little bit. So it was good to see the car was able to go down the racetrack and run a number like that again. It's what we expected, so it was good to see it.
So when Bruton Smith hands you the keys to a car like this, you just say, yes, sir.
This segment is brought to you by Seatbelt Solutions, the safest seatbelt money can buy.
Hey, welcome back to zMAX Dragway here in Concord, USA. We've seen some very cool stuff out on the track, and we've seen a couple cool things sitting out front. Check this out. This is a Carroll Shelby Super Snake GT500, one of the hottest rides I've ever laid my eyes on, for good reason. Not only does it look good, but this thing has got some serious power. About 750 horsepower underneath the hood. But what else would you expect from Bruton Smith? This is his personal car, the 3rd one ever built. Well, if you haven't started putting the piece of the puzzle together just yet, I'm going to do it for you. zMAX Dragway. You've got Bruton Smith, you've got Carroll Shelby, a longtime proponent of zMAX itself. It is a great product line with a lot of big names behind it, and I'm going to tell you why. zMAX Micro Lubricant started as a racing secret over 60 years ago. It was developed by Joe Linke to use in his race engines to solve internal lubrication problems. What he found was not only did the Speedway cocktail help protect vital engine parts, it also helped race engines meet their maximum performance, and other racers started taking notice. The product also grabbed the attention of Bruton Smith, founder of Speedway Motorsports Inc., which not only owns zMAX Dragway and Charlotte Motor Speedway, but many other tracks in both the NASCAR and NHRA circuit.
I had been using the product in our businesses for many, many, many years, and I knew Mr. Linke, who started the company. And the product does soak into metal. We have proven that it does do that.
So why is a product like zMAX Micro Lubricant important for your engine? Harmful carbon deposits can build in your combustion chamber and around the valves and pistons. These extra deposits will not allow your pistons to seat correctly, causing blow-by the engine, which will rob the engine of performance and horsepower.
You're probably familiar with an internal combustion engine.
Yes.
Carbon is a byproduct of oil. Carbon around the valves, around the pistons, and the rings is a detriment to the operation of that engine. Our product will remove that carbon and turn it to basically a jelly formation and blow it out the tailpipe. Then you have more power, you save gasoline, and it will reduce wear to that engine as well. No other product that we know of, or anybody else, will do that.
zMAX is not an additive. It works with your engine's oil to make its way throughout the engine and go places the engine oil can't. It works on a molecular level to lubricate the engine from the inside out. This will help the motor seal better, which can help increase gas mileage and improve performance, not to mention extend engine life.
We know that we've got the best doggone product there is. Nobody's ever produced a product yet as great as this product. We can look at you or look at anybody and say it works.
You know the name, now you know how the product works. Now let's get back out to the track and watch some cars in action. One of the things I love about the sport of drag racing is there's something for everybody, and everybody from the competitor standpoint. Now, not only do you have the pros, the nitro cars, the pro stocks, but you've also got something for the sportsman racers. You've got the grassroots guys, and then you've got the backbone of the sport, and that is the touring sportsman racers. And a great example of that is Darren Poole-Adams and this awesome Copo Camaro. Darren, man, tell me a little bit about your car.
This is Copo Camaro number 6. We upgraded this year to a 2014 with the new 396 crate motor in it. It's factory rated at 390 horsepower. Right now, I guess we're pushing somewhere around 500.
Well, for those of you that don't know, Copo Camaros are really hard to come by. They only do 69 a year. Now, the whole idea, this is a turnkey production race car. What kind of numbers are we pulling out of this thing?
At Gainesville, we went 995 at about 134, which for an A-stalker is pretty good. Our index is 11.
Well, that's very cool. You know, I feel pretty lucky too, because after 2 years of waiting, I'm finally getting one here in a few days, a 2014 Supercharged. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But you know what? I want to see you make a hit in this thing. I want to see this thing leave wheels up, and we'll see what kind of numbers we can turn.
Okay.
You
cool.
down?
Yes, sir.
All right. Nice, man. There's some track out there today, huh?
Cool, very cool.
All right, here's the only thing. I've been sitting here all day watching all y'all run. I'm a racer, man. What do you say you give me a hit in this thing?
You got your license, right?
Come on.
Okay.
Give me a little love.
Okay, have at it. Just
All
don't
right,
break
get out
it.
of this thing. My turn. Now, this is the reason I came out to the track. That was awesome. You know, that's the fun part of getting out of the shop. I get to drive a Copo Camaro. I get to go behind the scenes of a NASCAR shop, hang out with some professional drag racers. This is what it's all about, baby. Thank you to zMAX for sending me on another awesome trip. Matt, eat your heart out, baby.
Let's go inside the Duplicolor garage. Duplicolor, yes you can, in your garage.
Today we've got this cool Jeep in the shop. You know, I love these little things because they're so much fun. The guy that owns this wants to dress it up a little bit, more specifically at the wheels, and he wants to go with a carbon fiber look. So of course he's got a couple of different options. He can go out and buy a set of carbon fiber wheels, but that's going to cost him a lot of money. Or he can use the Duplicolor carbon fiber kit and get that same look at a fraction of the cost. The first thing we had to do was get the wheel good and clean. Then we scuffed the area where we're going to apply the carbon fiber paint. We want to make sure that the paint sticks to the wheel. Now we're ready to lay in the graphite metallic base coat. 2 or 3 light coats is all we're going to need. With the base coat dry to the touch, now we can lay in our dimensional effects template right there, which we cut just for the size that we need. And the nice thing about this, as far as the material goes, is we can reuse it. It's not designed to be used once and thrown out. It's not going to break down with the paint. It's not going to rip. We can use this on all the wheels. In fact, you can clean this when you're done and just keep using it. Now we have a great looking custom carbon fiber looking wheel that we made ourselves, and we did it in very little time and we spent very little money doing it, care of the Duplicolor carbon fiber kit. Now the cool thing about this kit is you take a look at this vehicle or any other vehicle on the road, it's specifically made to work on any metal or plastic piece. So mirrors, door handles, anything on the outside, the inside, I mean, as far as accessorizing options go, they are endless. If you would like some more information about the Duplicolor carbon fiber kit, be sure to check out their website. So typically I like to take the trucks and lift them up into the air. I just like the way it looks. But I understand there are other people out there that like to drop them down as well.
Low and slow, baby.
You know, and I don't judge. I mean, that's cool. This is a great way to do it too. This is the lowering and handling kit from Brothers Trucks. and it's got everything that you need, especially if you've got a 63 to 72 two-wheel drive Chevrolet GMC with a coil spring rear suspension. This is the kit you need.
Now everything you see right here comes in the kit. You've got the 3-inch lowered springs up front, the 4-inch in the back, sway bars. You got 4 shocks that are all valved to match and work with this system. Then you've got all your bushings and all your mounting hardware. It's nice because everything you need, one shot, buddy.
It looks good all out on the table, but you know, to complete the vision, you think about it on the truck. You've got the stock height. Now you put this in and it drops it down a little bit. You've got the upgraded controlling parts on the bottom, and that's going to really help you when you get into the corners, right?
Yeah, it's going to lower that center of gravity, so this way when you get those corners, it's going to handle. It's going to sit down, you know, and go, and that's the whole idea. Everything you need right here in one hit from the guys at Brothers Trucks.
This is one of the tools that we use all the time here at the shop. It's the Hewer vise from Woodward Fab, and it's all forged steel, so it's ridiculously strong. 35% stronger, in fact, than your regular cast iron vise.
You know, this is a nice tool. You know, it's serious. It's got, you know, those hardened clamping jaws right here. It's got a smooth action spindle, so when you're tightening it down, you're going to get precision clamping. Look at this thing. There is no slop inside here like you'd find in an inferior vise. You know, if you're getting a vise like this, you need to get the right jaws as too. Like here, they've got some optional ones you can pop in. They're magnetic. So let's say you want to do AN fittings. You put the aluminum in here, clamp it down, it'll hold it steady in place and won't damage that fitting. A nice option to have for a vise.
It's the Hewer vise from Woodward Fab, and it's one of the unsung heroes in the shop. These are the ARP valve cover bolt kits for your 6.6 Duramaxes, and they come in the black oxide or the stainless steel over here. But Bruno, I mean, why would you ever need a new bolt kit, right?
Well, here is a perfect example why, because the factory ones come with Allen heads that all too often end up like this, stripped out. So ARP's fix for that is to give you a couple different options. First, you've got the hex head right here or the 12-point. The whole idea with an ARP bolt is much better than you'd ever need. It's harder, it's stronger, much stronger than grade 8. Believe it or not, these things are good up to 170,000 pounds of tensile strength, which is ridiculous.
In a good way, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But the deal is, whether you've got a diesel application like this or you're out on the track, you don't want failures of any kind, but you certainly don't want a little bolt to cause a big failure. Those guys out there don't want it, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and if you use an ARP, that'll never happen.
No, man. Speaking of those guys on the track, it's always good to get out of the shop
yeah.
and hang out with those guys and see the action, right?
Yeah, it's fun to be part of it, man. The guys at zMAX, they've always got us covered, man. They take care of us. It's a good trip.
The question is, who's going to go next time?
I say we shoot for it.
All right.
Ready?
You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, boom. Bomb. Bomb blows up rock. See you guys next week right here on Truck U.
Wait, bomb blows up rock. See, what are you talking about?
No, the bomb kills
There's no such thing
everything.
as bomb. Scissor,
Everybody
paper,
knows
rock.
No.
You
Bomb.
cheated.
Boom. Blows up.